So the Atlanta Falcons franchise tagged Grady Jarrett earlier this year, and the deadline for those players to sign a long-term deal was today, July 15th at 4 o'clock. And the Falcons and Grady Jarrett were up against the wall, but they did get the deal done. So in this video, we're going to talk about the details and the ramifications of that deal, the expectations of Grady Jarrett, and who's next in line for the Falcons to get paid because they have a couple guys that still need to get their extension. We're starting right now. What up, dude? What's up, everybody? This is Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. This is the channel where I might not tell you what you want to hear, but I'm definitely going to tell you what you need to hear. And on this channel, I give recap and analysis of the NFC South. So if you want to see more videos about the Falcons, the Bucks, the Saints, or the Panthers, make sure you hit the subscribe button below, give the video a thumbs up, and make sure you share this video with a friend. Before we get into it, I'm just going to ask you guys a question. Let me know down below in the comments, do you think this was a good deal for the Falcons? Do you think they got their money's worth? Is Grady Jarrett overpaid? Did they overreach for him? What do you expect for Grady Jarrett and his contract? Do you expect him to live up to the hype? Let me know down below in the comments. So if you're watching this and you're not a Falcons fan, you don't know a ton about the NFL, you probably had no idea who Grady Jarrett was when this deal came through. And if you got on Instagram, you probably saw all kind of comments about how overpaid or overrated this was. If you're on Twitter, you caught that shade from Adam Schefter when he tweeted that pretty blatant tweet where he mentioned that Grady Jarrett got a lot of money and he really hadn't had more than 6 sacks, nor had he made a Pro Bowl. And Adam Schefter stays pretty neutral, but that seemed pretty shady of a tweet, if I do say so myself, but that's neither here nor there. But obviously, the Falcons know how much Grady Jarrett means to them because they rewarded him with the 4-year, $68 million contract, which puts him in the top 3 highest paid defensive tackles in the NFL. Now, you may be wondering, okay, I've never heard this Grady Jarrett guy. Why does he deserve this amount of money if you're not a Falcons fan? But this guy really has made a big impact. I know he really came onto the scene. He was a 5th-round pick out of Clemson, of course, but he had those 3 sacks in that Super Bowl, even though they had that epic come from behind blown 28-3 lead that Falcons fans don't want to relive. However, he had a big game there. He has a strong motor, and he's just a guy that can get after the passer. He's pretty high ranked when it comes to like the analytics, when it comes to pressures, and he's a pretty good run stopper when it comes to that. So to be the 3rd highest paid behind Aaron Donald and Fletcher Cox says a lot about what the Falcons think about them. However, this did come out to the last hour. The deadline was 4 o'clock, and I just think this news came out right about 4 o'clock, and they had a pretty much good idea that this was going to be the case. Either that they were going to make it right at the last second, or he was going to play under the franchise tag. However, the Falcons really didn't want to do that because they know they have a ton of other guys that still need to get paid, so there's no point in delaying this contract situation any more than you have to, because there's no telling where the defensive tackle market will go in the following years. To me, Grady Jarrett definitely deserved a deal for sure, but did he deserve that much? I have to beg to differ. $17 million per year is a lot of money for a guy like this. I think a lot about Grady Jarrett. I think he will get better. I think he has potential to actually earn that money eventually down the line, but to get him at this rate now seems a little suspect. When you mention guys like Fletcher Cox and Aaron Donald, these are guys that are staples of defensive lines that you can build around. We've seen these guys, as Aaron Donald have 20+ sacks, of course, and he's allowed other guys around him to make plays because they command double teams. Fletcher Cox commands double teams because if you don't, this guy will wreck a game. Grady Jarrett does not seem like a guy to me like that. I don't watch a ton of Grady Jarrett film. I will agree. I don't watch the interior D-line a ton when I'm watching football. However, Grady Jarrett, I know just by looking and reading and doing my homework, he's not a guy that commands a double team that you can just kind of build stuff around. The Falcons have struggled to get a pass rush going, so I understand why they felt like they had to keep the one gem they had. But to me, to get him for that high of an amount seems a little stiff for a guy like that. So the ramification of this is we know Julio Jones is still in that contract holdout situation. He's actually come out and said that he won't miss training camp because Arthur Blank came out and said that they will get a deal done and Julio will be a Falcon for life. And hey, when you got a guy that tells you that he's gonna pay you and you're Julio Jones, especially when the word is coming from a guy that has a lot of stake in Home Depot and the blank stands for blank check in his name, you kind of take his word for it. You show up for camp. You know Julio's not a rah-rah type of guy or a selfish type of guy, so he definitely wants his money because he's been arguing for that money for over a year. But also, reports have come out that the Falcons will be meeting with Deion Jones' agent Drew Rosenhaus Wednesday discussed his contract terms. Now, Deion Jones, of course, is probably the best player on the defense. As good as Grady Jarrett is, Deion Jones is the bread and butter. He missed 10 games last year, and the Falcons felt it in all 10 of those games. This guy's a sideline linebacker is going to make a big impact, and we saw some linebackers get paid this year, so his number will probably get high. This is good. It's a good idea to go ahead and start talking it, and you know this deal is coming. That's why they were so desperate to get Grady Jarrett's deal done, because they know they had to pay Julio. They know they had to pay Deion in. Both of those numbers could be huge. Julio could command $18, $19, $20 million just depending on seeing what Landry and Odell Beckham and Antonio Brown got paid. Deion Jones, middle linebacker money is not cheap, especially when you got a guy that young that's that promising. So it'll be interesting to see how everything plays out. However, does Deion Jones' contract situation affect Julio Jones? Does it put a little bit of damper in the time frame? Because Drew Rosenhaus, you may know him as the former agent of Terrell Owens and the current agent of Antonio Brown. And these guys drive a hard bargain, you know, when it comes to negotiating. He really wants to take care of his clients, and that's why players like him. And we'll see what happens. I mean, Deion Jones, he's a good leader. He doesn't seem like a guy that's going to be a type of distraction, but guys want to get their money's worth, especially when you get injured. We saw Deion Jones hit that broken foot, and we don't know how he's going to come back. His game is predicated on speed, and a foot injury could be big, but I guarantee you he wants his money. So it is what it is. You guys let me know down below in the comments. Who do you expect to get paid first between Julio and Deion? Do you think Deion, they're not so much in a hurry for him because he's still under contract, or do you think Julio's the top priority just because he's waited his turn, he's been patient enough, and he's clearly the best player at his position in the league? So you guys let me know down below in the comments who you think gets that check first and what you think about Grady Jarrett's deal. Without further ado, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on these Falcons updates and my takes on the team throughout the year. This is the best channel to get the NFC South coverage. Without further ado, I'm Aaron Duncan signing off. I'll see you next time.